We just got done a few moments ago listening to Congressman Trey Radel address the media for the first time since exiting rehab. Now, one man who's certainly made a name for himself is GOP candidate Byron Donalds. He is joining us here in the studio this evening to break down what we just heard. You've been listening to this here in the studio.
I have. I've been listening.
Yeah, what were your overall thoughts on this?
It was about as expected. Listen, everybody knew Trey wasn't going to resign. Frankly, he doesn't feel that's what he needs to do right now. I thought it was somewhat of a political press conference. It's something that really was to put out all the key points that needed to be addressed so he could try to, get things in order for his political life and for his family life.
Now, you mentioned that. That's funny you mentioned that because, we were saying here as we were watching it as well that it really started to veer back to his campaign and more of a campaign ad than anything else. He started off the press conference by saying, I'm going to stay here as long as I have to. I'm going to answer as many questions as you have. However, when he was directly asked how long he had been using cocaine, he completely averted the question, said he wouldn't answer it. His wife did the same thing. How long has she known about his cocaine use? She said she wouldn't answer that. When asked why he bought such a large amount of coke if he wasn't a regular user, he avoided the question and instead saying, I'm being treated for alcoholism. So many questions that were brought upon him, he completely averted instead. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, I kind of expected that to be the case. It's not something that he wants to address head on right now. He wants to try to put this as far behind him as possible because he's trying to do two things at once. Number one, he is trying to get himself better, get his life in order, which he should be doing. But at the same time, he's trying to maintain his political future. And that's something that's going to be extremely difficult for him because this is a vulnerable time for him. He's been seeking treatment to get himself healthy. But the question is, do the rigors of Washington, are they going to impair that? I think so, and many people do as well.
Do you think that he deserves to stay in Washington given all of the circumstances?
No, I think, listen, everybody hits dark spots in their life. Everybody does. The key thing is not that you messed up, but it's that you make up and you never give up. But that make up and give up part, that takes time. You have to actually have a demonstrated track record of redemption and rehabilitation. 30 days is not enough, but it's apparent he's going to stay in office. He cannot be forced out, so it's going to be something that the voters are going to decide.
Now, a lot of people angry saying, if a teacher, did this, if a high school football coach did this, they would never get a second chance. Why should he get one?
Again, that's something the voters are going to have to decide for themselves. I think that the reason why he hasn't talked about re-election at this point is because it's going to be extremely difficult. This is something that's really an eyesore in Southwest Florida. The voters are keenly aware of it, and there is going to be a primary challenge. Many people are gearing up for that. And so it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen going forward with this.
Do you think that we can expect some answers from him moving forward to these things he wasn't willing to answer this evening?
I would doubt it. I think he's going to try to put it behind him, like he was saying, spend time with his family, put up the Christmas tree. All those things are points to move beyond this so he can show really the area that, hey, I'm a better man now. I'm ready to go take care of my family. The reality is he's trying to put this as far behind him as possible so he can find ways to stay in office and keep his job.
All right, Byron Donalds, thank you so much for weighing in with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. Thank you.